Please video like and subscribe this channel. The galaxy did not call Elias Cade a man. It called him a contingency. Across thousands of inhabited systems, his name appeared only in sealed archives and encrypted war simulations. To most species, he was a theoretical outcome. What happened when humanity, cornered and afraid, decided survival mattered more than morality. To Empress Velith of the NYR Dominion, he was something else entirely. He was standing in her solar garden, quietly watching the artificial stars bloom and fade above the palace dome, his hands clasped behind his back like a soldier awaiting orders. Tall, broad-shouldered, unmistakably human, Elias looked out of place among the elegant curves and luminous architecture of NYR Prime. His presence bent the space around him, not physically, but emotionally. Guards kept their distance. Courtiers whispered. The most dangerous human in the galaxy was unarmed. "You don't have to stand like that," Velith said gently. Elias turned. His dark eyes were calm, unreadable. "Old habits, your radiance." She winced. "I told you." Velith. "Not Empress. Not here." He hesitated, then nodded. "Velith." She approached him, her iridescent skin catching the starlight, her long mantle trailing behind her. Enwar were not a physically imposing species, but their presence carried weight, telepathic sensitivity, emotional acuity. Velith could feel entire rooms before she entered them. With Elias, it was different. There was something shielded inside him. Not emptiness, pressure. Like a star held together by force alone. "You're leaving tomorrow," she said. "Yes." The word landed heavier than it should have. Beyond the palace shields, the galaxy was unraveling. The Car Void Fleet's ancient, machine-guided armadas had returned from dark space, consuming systems with terrifying efficiency. Entire civilizations vanished in weeks. The NYR Dominion had held them back longer than most, but even their fleets were failing. That was why Elias existed. Humanity had built him after their near-extinction war centuries ago. Enhanced reflexes, neural acceleration, strategic cognition beyond any known species. He could command fleets faster than AI, adapt mid-battle, predict enemy behavior with brutal accuracy. He was not a general. He was a solution. And now, he was Velith's husband. Their union had shocked the galaxy, an alliance disguised as romance, or a romance disguised as strategy, depending on who whispered it. Only they knew how it had truly begun, long nights of conversation, shared silences, curiosity turning into trust, trust into something neither had planned. Velith reached out, resting her hand against his chest. She could feel his heart, steady, controlled. "You don't have to go alone," she said. "The Dominion fleets won't survive the engagement," Elias interrupted softly. "Not the first wave." She swallowed. "You can't fight an entire war by yourself. That's what I was designed for." She closed her eyes, pressing her forehead against his armorless chest. "I hate that sentence." "So do I," he admitted. The next day, the galaxy watched as Elias Cade boarded a single human warcraft Aegis Null and vanished into jump space. No escort. No fleet. Just one ship carrying a mind built for annihilation. Velith stood on the observation deck long after he was gone. She had sent him to war. The first reports came within days. A Car Vanguard destroyed near the Halcyon Rift. No NYR ships lost. The second report was worse and better. Elias had lured 3 void fleets into a collapsing binary system, sacrificing entire star lanes to eliminate them. The galaxy reeled. Some hailed him as a savior. Others whispered a darker name, the Human Weapon King. Velith read every report alone. She felt his presence in the aftermath, ripples of calculated devastation, precise and merciless. He never messaged unless necessary. When he did, The transmissions were short. Enemy adapting. Adjusting tactics. Losses acceptable. Acceptable to whom? Months passed. The war stretched on, grinding and relentless. Systems were saved, but at terrible cost. Elias fought constantly, sleeping in microbursts, his mind always calculating, always planning the next impossible maneuver. And slowly, something changed. His reports grew colder. Shorter. Where once he'd included strategic reasoning, now there were only outcomes. As if even explanation had become unnecessary. Velith felt it through their bond, not telepathy, but something deeper. Distance. Strain. One night, she dreamed of him standing alone in a starless void, surrounded by wreckage, calling her name without sound. She woke in tears. The council demanded more. Deploy him deeper, they urged. End the war faster. Velith resisted. His not infinite. They stared at her in silence. To them, Elias was a weapon. To her, he was slipping away. The breaking point came at the siege of Karyuan. Elias faced the core Void Fleet, an armada so vast it blotted out starlight. His strategy was flawless. His execution perfect. But the victory cost him. The Aegis Null emerged from the battle crippled, its hull torn open, systems failing. Elias rerouted power manually, burning through neural limiters meant to protect his mind. He won. And something inside him broke. When he finally returned to NYR Prime, the war was effectively over. The Void Fleets scattered. The galaxy was safe. The hero came home. Velith met him in the hangar. Elias stepped off the ship slowly, his movements precise, too controlled. His eyes scanned the environment, threat matrices running where warmth used to be. Elias, she said, rushing to him. He stopped just short of her, as if unsure of the protocol. Empress, he said flatly. Her heart clenched. No. Velith. He blinked, processing. Yes. Velith. She touched his face. He did not lean into it. You're safe now, she whispered. The war is over. He nodded. Threat reduced to acceptable levels. Not ended. Reduced. They took him to healers, human and NYR alike. His body recovered quickly. His mind did not. He woke screaming some nights, locked in battles that no longer existed. Other nights, he lay awake, staring at nothing, calculating wars that would never come. Velith stayed with him through all of it. One evening, weeks later, she sat beside him in the quiet chamber overlooking the stars. You saved everyone, she said softly. He didn't respond. You were never meant to do it alone, she continued. I should never have sent you. He finally turned to her. His eyes were tired, so deeply tired. You did what you had to, he said. So did I. I loved you, she whispered. I still do. He studied her, searching himself. I remember that feeling. I know it was real. But, she asked. But I don't know how to reach it anymore. The silence stretched. Velith took his hand. Then let me fight for you now. He frowned slightly. There is no enemy. Yes, she said. There is. She gestured gently to his chest. Healing took time. Years, not months. Elias was never the same. The galaxy would never need him again, and that frightened him more than war ever had. But Velith remained, patient and steadfast, refusing to see him as a weapon, insisting on seeing him as a man. Slowly, fragments returned. A laugh here. A shared memory there. The pressure inside him eased, star by star. On the anniversary of the war's end, they stood together beneath real stars this time, far from palaces and councils. I don't regret going, Elias said quietly. But I regret going alone. Velith rested her head on his shoulder. Never again. The galaxy remembered Elias Cade as its deadliest weapon. But long after the war faded into history, he was remembered by one person as something else entirely. The man she loved. And the war she would never send him to fight alone again.